Good morning, everyone. We have a special Sunday edition again. I hope everyone had a great Shabbos today, Sunday, May 17th. Today is the 38th day of the Omer. Since I was reading Obscure Sports Quarterly, those will understand the reference. But the number 38 today, we're going with Brett Jones. Brett Jones. Who's Brett Jones, you ask? Oh, well, I'll tell you who Brett Jones is. He was perhaps the most famous player for the West Coast Eagles, Australian rules football team. For those that watch Australian rules football, since there's nothing else to watch. In actuality, I would do anything not to mention a certain Red Sox pitcher that did a lot of damage to the Yankees over the years, so we will not mention that number 38. But again, I hope everyone had a wonderful Shabbos. We had beautiful, beautiful weather. I hope everybody was able to get outside a little bit, get some fresh air. If you're like my family, then the fresh air comes in small doses because after being outside for just a short time, we all end up looking like Sylvester Stallone in the end of Rocky 1 with the puffy eyes, etc. But make sure you keep those allergies in check as well. We look forward to another great week of hopefully trying to make the best of what our situation is until we find some resolution, hopefully in the near future. Please continue to daven for Refuah Shalema for Ivan Silva, Mordechai ben Elka, Rafal Zev ben Rickel, Gittel Basara, and all those who need a refuah all around. We daven every single day for their well-being, and again for everyone who needs. The reason we're doing a Sunday video today, even though there's no day off from Torah, but there might be days off from filming, is that we're going back to the source of our dedications to Debbie and Wayne Zuckerman. I want to thank them for sponsoring today, because today is the yahrzeit being observed for Mrs. Millie Zuckerman for her mother, Sabina Mark. And it's the yahrzeit is actually today on the 23rd of Iyar. Shprinza Bas Rafael Zev. I dug into the archives and we found this fantastic picture of Millie and her mother, and the Devar Torah today is going to be in her memory and in her honor. And the name Shprinza, if I am not mistaken, I will guess that Millie has a granddaughter whose name is Miriam Shprinza, who is named after Shprinza Bas Rafal Zev. Again, the Neshama should have an aliyah. So our study today is going to be Le'ili Nishmasa. We'll move now to chapter 5 of Perek Avos. We know we get to chapter 5, which is the last sort of real chapter of Perek Avos, because the 6th chapter is not really so much a part, and it's very different stylistically, as we'll see. But this chapter contains a lot of numbers. And I'll share with you a short Mishna, but I think something that's very important, something that I learned a lot from Mrs. Millie Zuckerman. She should live and be well. Asara Nisyonos Nisnasa Avraham Avinu v'Amad B'Kulam. Lohodia Kama Chibaso Shel Avraham Avinu. Our forefather Abraham was tested with 10 trials, and he withstood all of them to show the degree of our forefather Abraham's love for God. We know that when we talk about Avraham Avinu and we talk about the 10 tests, and when all of this craziness was starting, and I was speaking with Mrs. Zuckerman, and she was sharing with me some of her tests that she had to endure, and that includes with her mother of blessed memory that she had to endure in life. And I want to share with you Rabbi Wein's insight on this Mishnah. The true measure of a person is how he reacts to pressure, disappointment, danger, and difficulty. There are those who grow from such experiences, and there are those who falter because of them. For most people, it is better not to be tempted and not to be tested. In our daily morning prayers, we ask Hashem not to subject our faith and moral deportment to tests and undue stress. But no one really escapes being tested. The marketplace and the office, the street and the culture of society, the media and the human failings of supposed heroes, all rise to challenge our Jewish convictions, faith, and lifestyle. Our tests in life are numerous and complex, sometimes blatant, mostly subtle. In fact, the rabbis attest that the more righteous and pious a person attempts to become, the more likely it is that he will be constantly tested. And he goes on to speak about the test of Abraham. But the key is, in the words of the Mishnah is, Avraham Avinu v'amad bikulam, and he stood up in all of them. Meaning that even after the tests, even after being put through things that are almost unimaginable. And when we look through the psukim, especially in the end of Parshas Vayera, we can understand how unimaginable that is that nevertheless, v'amad, he was able to rise up, he was able to stand up. And when I was sort of fishing around for hope, for figuring out how do we get through this, so I turned to Mrs. Zuckerman, and she said to me, she shared with me some of her tests that she had to endure. And it gave me a lot of strength and a lot of hope. And it made me understand that this is our test, and you know what? We'll be fine. We're going to be okay. So I also was reading a homiletic interpretation of this Mishna of when we talk about Mrs. Zuckerman of Avsar Nisyonis Nisnas to Avraham Avinu. That Avraham, of course, is Abraham, our patriarch, but also Abe Zuckerman, who also withstood so many tests. But it's because of the strength and the dedication and the ability to stand up afterwards of all those who came before us. That allows us, during this difficult time, to look at them and be inspired and to say, we will stand. So, Mrs. Zuckerman, I hope you're doing well. We miss you. We miss seeing you. And most importantly, may your mother's neshama have an aliyah, Shprinza Basar Fal Zev. And I know what an important influence she was on your life and the life of your family. And let's hope that in the merit of our Torah study and the merit of our good deeds that we perform, that we will all get through this test. Not just get through it, but indeed we will stand afterwards. V'amad bikulam. Anything that comes our way, we will stand. That's because people like you give people like us the strength to be able to stand. So thank you again. May the neshama have an aliyah. I hope everyone has a great day and a great week ahead.